Hey everyone, in the news this week, Luigi Mangione, the person who assassinated the United Healthcare CEO, was in court finally, putting in his plea, and he decided to go with, quote, not guilty, which was surprising, bordering on comically delusional, seeing as it was all caught on camera. Some expected him to take pride for his twisted left-wing manifesto and maybe burst into song about it being the most wonderful crime of the year. Anyway, he's currently being held at the same jail as Diddy, and there's some fairly amusing cartoons doing the rounds about the Nintendo character Diddy Kong hanging out with Luigi from the Super Mario games, and how if they broke out of prison, the resulting chase might resemble the video game Mario Kart. Close to the real world, Prime Minister Keir Starmer's brother died on Boxing Day, and Starmer made a series of comments about him being a, quote, lovely bloke. Although most people listening at the press conference were placing bets to see whether the Prime Minister would use the event as yet another excuse to crowbar in that old line about how their father had been a toolmaker when they were growing up. But mostly, it's been quite a week for air crashes. This morning I saw one about the South Korean 737 jetliner crashing and killing 177 people. And this is off the back of the KLM flight 1204, the Azerbaijan flight which was shot down by Russia, and a crash involving an Air Canada flight. And you can make a comparison to London buses, I guess, except there's been a blackout of news related to London transport after a car mysteriously crashed into some pedestrians. With regards to the South Korean flight, though, there's a few comments being made about how none of the landing gear were deployed at the time. And you can go online, there's some fairly shocking footage that's quite easily available. And my main concern, though, watching it was seeing that some smart aleck had built a massive concrete wall at the end of the runway. It all seemed to be vaguely under control until they crashed into that thing. And it is worth noting that once more, the only handful of survivors were sitting in the tail section of the aircraft, always something to consider when you're travelling, although you do also have to spend the flight set next to the toilets, so swings and roundabouts, I guess. Curiously, there's an article from exactly 1 year ago when the BBC asked, quote, can Boeing come back from this crisis? And so I guess the answer is a resounding no, although passengers will be reassured to know that their planes continue to be manufactured to the highest diversity standards. Anyway, see you next week. If you like these, click subscribe.